Well, it's just after lunchtime. This is the third and final hour of All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Ratlaga. Let's take you through our stories today. Now, around 3,000 passengers have been left stranded after Gulula and British Airways flights were grounded. Comair says it's broke and is trying to find money to be able to take to the skies again. Tourism Minister Lindiwe Sisulu is concerned about the impact of the suspension on tourism ahead of school holidays. Let's go to Pule Letshwiti-Jones, who is at the OR Tambo International Airport, to give us more details. Pule, I'm wondering, I see an empty airport there, so I assume there are no passengers. Were passengers told ahead of time that there would be cancellation of flights?
Definitely, but others would argue otherwise, saying they were not given enough time, and hence they're complaining, saying that they should have given like about a day or so for them to actually start preparing, because others feel as though they were ambushed upon their arrival here at the airport. They did not know what to do, started panicking, and had to look at alternative ways as to how they can get to their destination. I just spoke to one lady here who had a funeral in Durban, KZN, and she now has to cancel that. You can imagine the kind of inconvenience that is caused. But just come on, I'm right inside. I can show you that, you know, it's not business as usual, quite empty. No operations whatsoever. And, you know, we spoke to Comair. They've made it quite official that they will not be refunding anyone as yet. As you can see, that screen here will show you some of the planes that have been cancelled for now, which are not going anywhere, particularly British Airways, and we do know that Gulula as well is not going anywhere. But I'm just going to speak to a aviation analyst, Mr. Mujapelo, who's joining us on eNCA this afternoon. Mr. Mujapelo, thank you very much for joining us. Now, one would say that, or rather call this a special heist. We do understand that Comair says it's trying all its best to get on top of this. However, the customers are saying the grounding was imminent, and why were they not told in time to say they should get alternative plans?
I think what has happened here was clear. They were trying to make an effort to try and get some money, quick cash, so that they are able to get the services going. But the airline, you don't run airline like a taxi business. This is not a taxi business where you wait for the customers to fill up the seats and then you can decide to leave. No, the airline has projections over 3 months of the seats being occupied. So what they tried to do here, they knew very well that they don't have liquidity to continue running the business for the month of June, and they were trying to run that special of 30% and lowering the customers to come in and get as much money as possible, and yet they did not necessarily have the plans going forward on the month of June. And what we have seen here is that with the culmination of things that has happened in the past, the credibility of the airline is at stake. Because you cannot ground the airline a day before, you were taking money from them, and then the next day you are no longer, 5 hours later, you're no longer able to transport them. And I think this is a serious crime that Comair has committed on the customers by not communicating, because they knew. This is not new to them. You knew you don't have money to continue. And I think here, the executive and the CEO, they are squarely to be responsible for this whole mess that they have created.
We speak about the credibility of it, which is very important. I mean, we know they were grounded by the CAA as well. But most importantly, what hard knock-on effects may this have within the industry and on jobs as well, if Comair has to actually stop its operations fully due to financial constraints?
Their credibility took a serious knock in terms of the safety records, in terms of how they run their operation. In actual fact, the British Airways, they might even revoke the license of the British Airways that they are operating here in South Africa in the manner in which they conduct themselves, because it's just not on for them to continue doing this to the customers. So the effect of this is going to be seriously have dire consequences on those that are indirectly working for Comair, like your maintenance companies and other companies that are providing service for Comair, and the employees. The employees, they can still go to the CCMA and get other recourse, but but direct impact on those that are indirectly working with Comair are going to be seriously affected, and we are going to see this deteriorating badly, and that impact is going to be felt by customers because the prices are going to go very high for those that will be trying to fly, because choices are very limited and demand is very high.
Definitely. I saw some consumers actually going to get alternative plane tickets to get home as well. But do we then say this is a time where the Competition Commission has to come in to ensure and look as to whether regulation was followed and that consumer law acts were also followed or not?
Yes, certainly we need a consumer body that is very much active, more than just the Competition Commission, because we know for the fact we're still waiting for the response from the Competition Commission with the last increase that was felt by consumers. We still don't have response. Hence I'm saying we need a serious consumer body that is going to seriously deal with this, because this is a heist. It's a serious criminality that happened here. You take money from the people, suddenly you're no longer able to fly them. It doesn't work like that in a real society. So Comair needs to really respect the customers and give them their refund. Don't say to them, maybe we will refund you. They're not necessarily going to take responsibility as they're supposed to. But indeed, we need a consumer body that will deal with this. Government has to come in and get the recourse for our customers.
Thank you very much for joining us on eNCA. That's Masiho, the aviation analyst, Mr. Mojapelo, giving us an update saying that there has to be some sort of accountability after what has happened at Heathrow Row, that it can't just be that, the obviously aviation company comes in and say that there will not be any flights, which is affecting clients as well. He believes that much more should be taken into consideration here. Of course, we've spoken to some of the clients earlier on who said that this had a very bad impact on them, and of course Comair responding, saying that they're doing all they can to try and ensure that they can fix this mess.
All right, Pule Letshwiti-Jones at the OR Tambo International Airport. Let's leave it there for now.